Just because you're working doesn't make you a bad mom. Just because you're a great mom doesn't mean you don't care about your job. You can create the priorities and the boundaries for yourself that you want to define what you want to sacrifice at any given season of life, week, month, however you want to define that. You don't have to follow any kind of playbook. You can do it the way that you want to do it. You're not hitting your skincare routine, being a great mom, crushing it at your job, putting dinner on the table, and having sex with your husband in 24 hours every day. You're not doing that.
Nobody is. Nobody is.
That's not happening.
Welcome to the Breadwinners Podcast. Kim Chappell. Kim and I have a history that goes back to 2018 when we were colleagues at an e-commerce startup in San Francisco called Weebly. She was navigating life as a new mom, and I was going through my own fertility journey with IVF. Even then, we found ourselves having deep conversations about what it really means to build a career while building a family. Cut to 8 years later, and we're now collectively moms of 7 children, both living here in Austin, Texas, and both breadwinners in our own right. In that time, Kim has built something incredible. She was employee number 5 at Bobbie, the infant formula company, where she's been instrumental in building the culture and brand for what started as a small startup and has become an iconic brand. Just a few months ago, we found ourselves hosting what felt like a serendipitous dinner during South by Southwest, the Breadwinner Dinner. Little did we know it would spark such a movement, igniting a conversation that was so clearly missing in our community. Kim was there at that table, helping to create the magic that sparked this entire movement. She saw what I saw, women who were tired of being told they couldn't have it all, and ready to show the world what integration really looks like. But more than our shared story and what makes Kim the perfect first guest is her journey, from that new mom I knew in San Francisco to the culture-building force behind an iconic brand. She's going to share the real stories of how you build both a career and a family on your own terms. So Kim, welcome to the Breadwinners Pod. From Weebly to Bobbie, from new moms to seasoned breadwinners. Let's get started. All right.
Okay.
Kim.
Let's do this. Hi.
Welcome to the Breadwinner Pod.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks.
I mean,
this is great.
This all started.
It's manifesting.
We are truly the definition of manifesting.
Truly.
When you get 2 creatives in a room.
I know. Something's going to come up. Something's going to
something
brew.
up.
We're going to bake it.
It goes from a dinner to let's do a podcast to a massive conversation that needs to be had. And we didn't even realize it.
I know. It kind of, yeah. You want to talk about how this all came to be? Well, South by Southwest was happening in Austin, and there was all these people kind of coming into town, and there was some were here and some were there, but it was like, well, we should all get together because we're all in the same stage of life. We're moms. We're in it with our careers. We're building brands. We're building companies. And I was like, there's something really special about the mothers that understand this really unique intersection in life that we're all in, this season that we're in. And I feel like there's not only an understanding, but a lot that we can learn from each other in that process. And we started to build out the list. And I think I have a fear of events just from working in brand marketing. I'm like, what is that would be like? Not FOMO, but fear of
not producing
FOF
enough
or something. Let's make it FOF, fear of events. And I'm like, oh my God, what if people don't come? What if everyone's too busy? And you and I got on the phone with you and I was like, yeah, I think I can host an event. Let's do it at my mom's house. She has a beautiful front yard that's near downtown. And we created this list and we were not sure what to call it because we didn't want it to be a networking event, right? We're just
that's
there's
the
so
last thing
many,
South by
there's so
needs.
much of that.
Yet another.
How do we make it feel special? How do we make it feel like this coming together of minds around a dinner table? And then I was thinking about the people that we were inviting, and so many of us are the breadwinners in our family, which I feel like we can dive into later, but had this taboo around it.
For sure.
And it's to protect our husbands' egos or what society thinks we should or should not be within the household. And I was kind of screw it. Let's call this the Breadwinner Dinner. Obviously it rhymes, so I loved it as a marketer, but I was I do think it kind of defines not only whether or not you're actually banking more, the mindset.
Yeah, the emotional
that hopefully one day potentially you will, that is what you are striving for is success, right? And so we invited this incredible table of women to the table, and I thought, okay, listen, like it's South by Southwest, like half the people are gonna cancel, and like we need to be ready for the no shows.
So many.
Every single person showed up,
Truly.
and I was shocked.
Yeah.
Um, and what happened around that table that night, because of the community that we were uniquely in and the conversation that I think we could uniquely have together, led to such a safe space to share experiences, to open up, to be vulnerable. And that created just this like slice of magic in
Yeah.
my mom's front yard
I know.
in Austin. And it was really special when we realized, I think you and I both realized that night, like, okay, there's something here. Like there's an experience piece of becoming a mother and building and growing your career that no one's talking about,
Yeah.
or no one's kind of aggregating those women together for that shared conversation.
Yeah. Well, it's also the women who are financially contributing or leading their families, but also refusing to sacrifice being a part of their family in a way that they can define what that means.
Yes.
It's not the either or.
I
It's
I agree, and it's this evolution of the sort of death to the girl boss and the lean in era, and I
and
mean,
I'm okay with that.
same, and, like, you and I both worked in San Francisco in tech during peak Sheryl Sandberg years. Like, she was on her book tour, we were just gobbling it all up. We're like, "Yes, we shall
Hey,
lean
we're
in."
leaning in. I'm leaning
And
in
I'm
more.
dripping milk while I'm leaning in, but yes, we shall. And I think that narrative is the pendulum is swinging back on that narrative because we all realize that it's not actually a sustainable way to live.
Yeah.
Or maybe if it is, you're sacrificing something, whether that's your marriage, your
Mhm.
kids, your sense of self, your wellness. There's a lot of things that you put on the table to be a girl boss. And I don't think anybody wants it in the tropey way that it was in 2015. It was also like I think for me, like looking back on it now, it was almost like a masculine, like we called it feminism,
Mhm.
but it was rooted in being masculine
You had
and
to
like,
work like a man.
yeah,
Mhm.
and show up like a man
Mhm.
and not bring, your softness to work.
Right.
And I just don't believe in that in any way, shape, or form. And I think evolved feminism and evolved girl boss or whatever you want to call it is really about rooting yourself in the things that make being a mother for me or a female perspective to the table so important and valuable
Right.
to the business. And it's like, I want to be feminine.
Mhm.
I don't want to have to work like a man. I want to work like it works for me
Right.
in my life right now.
Right now.
And I think doing that in a leadership position or any woman or mother who's working in a leadership position, like how are you setting the example of what the evolution of girl boss is to the team that's looking up to you? So that in 10 years, like we are right now, this is literally 2015, they're not having a podcast about us being like, well, that was
I
toxic. You
know.
know what I mean? And I think there's just a really wonderful sort of female career evolution that's happening. And I don't know, we need to call it something. I don't have the nomenclature around it, but I see it and I feel it. And I see other women like relieved almost
Yeah.
that it's happening. And it's like we can all take this like deep collective breath that we don't have to show up in that way anymore. We can bring ourselves to work. We can be mothers. We can have shitty days and, try for balance. But I also think balance is kind of bullshit. I just think you go through hard days and you go through easier days. And like
Yeah.
every day is a day. Like that's it.
What does that look like? What would you tell to the next generation that you wish somebody had told you
Mm.
before you became a mom?
It's a great question. I wish they had told me that every day you're going to have to sacrifice something, but it doesn't have to be the same thing all the time. Just because you're working doesn't make you a bad mom. Just because you're a great mom doesn't mean you don't care about your job. If your marriage is failing, it might be because, oh, it's because you work too hard. Like all of these things that we equate together are untrue. And you can create the priorities and the boundaries for yourself that you want to define what you want to sacrifice at any given season of life, week, month, however you want to define that. But you don't have to follow any kind of playbook. You can do it the way that you want to do it. One failure does not equate to a success somewhere else or vice versa. And I think that you can also be a very successful stay-at-home mom.
Totally.
And I don't and I
Yes.
if I'm being honest, I don't feel like that was a narrative that was told to us.
No, it wasn't. That wasn't a choice.
And it wasn't necessarily a choice, or it was not one that you were striving to
Right.
do,
Yeah, you didn't
right?
aspire to it.
And I also think for women these days, like, you should decide what is right for you.
Mhm.
And there's so many options for flexible work that, like, contributing or feeling successful doesn't have to mean you're in the C-suite or you're climbing a corporate ladder in these very traditional swim lanes that we've created
Yeah.
for our generation.
Yeah.
And success can look really different. Like, success can be being an amazing content creator
Yeah.
at home,
Yeah.
pushing products, and guess what? You're out earning your husband. Like, that's a breadwinner.
Totally is.
You
We're
know?
having a good friend of mine, Eileen's going to be on the pod in a couple weeks, and she is a former ICU nurse. And during the pandemic, she was like, it was just too much. You know, the stories of the
Yeah,
nurses who just
I'm sure.
sacrificed everything.
Mhm.
She quit her job as an ICU nurse, single mom. She had like a 2-year-old, and she chased her dream of being an artist. And now she is a world-renowned artist who
Incredible.
is picked up by four hands.
Wow.
She has commissioned work. She has truly made it. And she is the definition of a breadwinner. And, you know, I look at her with envy sometimes of like, you chased your dream and it worked out exactly how it should have. And what her daughter can see in that, she watched her go through all of it. Her daughter's now 7 years old, and watching her do the thing that she loves every day, that takes so much sacrifice, and the reward paid off. But yes, this is not a desk job. This is not going to a hospital every day. You know, just to go back, you and I met 7 years ago in
Feels
San
like
Francisco.
longer.
It feels like 70 years ago.
It has to have been longer. No, okay. Was it?
2018.
No, it was before that.
Okay, maybe
Because I had
2017?
Tippaloo in 2017.
So maybe it was 2017.
Okay. Yeah, it had to have been because I was a new mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we met working at a tech company called Weebly in San
Yes.
Francisco.
Love it. Weebly. If
We-
you know, you know.
We were in the thick of startup world.
Totally. It was great.
You were a new mom. You had just gotten back from maternity leave.
I felt like the only mom in San Francisco. I was like 32 with a baby, which made me feel like a child bride in San Francisco. I was like the youngest mom in every single mom group. It was just a different experience.
And I will never forget the first interview when I met you. You came in, you were like, I'm like day 3 back from maternity leave. And I was like, you are doing it. You look great. You're back in the office. And talk to me about what that feeling was like of, okay, I'm going to get up today and put on my best clothes and walk into the office and, you know, my brain's sharp and I'm just ready to go. What's really happening behind the scenes?
I felt so overwhelmed, and I felt so scared of this next chapter that felt so unknown to me, and I felt so guilty. And I'll never forget that feeling of dropping my daughter off, who was 4 months old, at daycare, which was a great daycare, and I trusted them, but still, I remember thinking, what if she's scared? What if she needs me? And what if she doesn't know where I am? And that broke my heart, and it sat with me all day, and I just tried to like talk myself through it, but it's like you do this huge emotional hurdle, and you get to the desk and you're there, you fucking done it.
Physically.
You made the bottles, you got the diaper bag ready for the first time, you got out of the house. I took public transportation to work. I was like, I'm doing this.
You packed your
okay?
pump.
Packed my pump and all the parts and all the things. And you sit down at your desk and it's like you open your laptop for the first time in a while and you're like, well, what do I do now? You're like,
Are we here?
Did I go through all of that this morning? This like weight of going back to work to just clean out my email inbox? Like, what are we doing here?
For what?
And I think just give yourself grace because it takes a minute to find the for what again.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen on day one of
Mhm.
coming back. And you feel like you're sacrificing everything and for what?
What do you wish you had that wasn't there? Or what would you give to moms who come back?
I would say take every single day of your paid maternity leave, and I'd say and ask for more. And if you can take unpaid time, if you financially can do that, and you can even ask for another 4 to 5 to 6 weeks of unpaid time, every week you feel like you know yourself more as a mother and you'd be more confident in that transition. And I think go and vote and fight for federal paid leave because it is so messed up that we do not have this in this country. But that's
Yeah.
one thing is like, do not ever feel guilty for taking every day that you worked for and every day that you will never get back
It's the
with your
guilt.
baby.
It is. It's the guilt of
Yeah.
I shouldn't be doing this. I mean, how crazy is
And
that?
I remember thinking, should I ask for another month? Should I come back at 5 months? Like, I don't know. What if they're upset with me? And like these things that you think are so important. And it's like, why did I not just take another 4 weeks and like
No.
chill out?
Yeah, and yes. Yeah.
And I'm mad at myself for not doing that. And I also feel like working, sometimes the culture is set for you and there's leaders who set that pace. This was not the case at a young startup. Like there was no trailblazing person there doing this before me. So, I feel like you kind of have to kind of get out of your comfort zone of advocating for yourself and your baby, even if no one has done that to set the path for you.
Right.
I wish that I would have understood, like, people's morning routines, like, how did you actually get out the house? Like, it was so overwhelming to me to think about, how am I actually gonna be at my desk by 9 a.m. and, like, get this human fed and get myself changed, and, like, I just didn't know how people were doing it. It felt like it was all happening behind closed doors as a first-time mom. I think it's different now. People share a lot of that on TikTok and everything else, which wasn't there in 2017. Um, but yeah, I think bringing transparency to how people get it done and how people have those difficult conversations and would have helped me more in that moment. So seek those out, and for the parents who are watching or the new moms who are watching, like share those war stories with your team.
Yes.
Like when you have somebody on your team who's pregnant with their first baby, like
Mhm.
make it a point to tell them the things that they should know or the things that you wish you would have known. Like that, I just would have really appreciated that.
When I was pregnant with my first, my boss at the time lived in London. He was male, had 2 kids. And like a week before I went on leave, he sent me this email that's like, here's all my parenting hacks.
Oh,
And I referenced that email 20 times. Like one of the most basic things, which was so adorable, but I like shared this with everyone. He's like, put a burp cloth down on the changing table. So every time it gets messy, you don't have to change the entire changing table. You
oh
just
yeah.
change the burp cloth. And I was like, that's brilliant. I never would have thought of that. Like, all these little things and all these products that had come out that I had no idea what they were. And the amount of ridiculous money I was spending on Amazon buying everything under the sun.
I know.
I mean, there is something to be said for community, but I feel like that needs to translate back to the workplace. Is
Yeah.
like, what does the return to work from maternity leave look like for the community? What's the responsibility of the company? You talk about paid federal leave. Like that's on the regulatory, like legislative side. But like what responsibilities should the corporations have?
I think well, at our company, we think about maternity leave as a 2-year process. Like you tell us you're pregnant, we guide you through all of your benefits. We work through taking the time, finding your backfill, plugging the holes in the boat, as we say. And then there's a return to work experience where you have to find yourself back in your own flow.
Yeah.
And it just takes time to get back into the flow
Mhm.
and absorb, especially at a fast paced company, everything that you've missed and how much has changed in this time that you've taken off. But I feel like it's mostly the gap I feel is training leaders to be empathetic and to understand how to best show up for an employee in that transition in their life. Because once you've been through it, you kind of then, like, if there's a couple years distance between when you had your last baby or, for me, it's 3.5 years, like, you black out. Like, you're
You
like,
forget.
wait, what was that
I
like? And
know.
then you just forget how fragile
Mm-hmm.
people are, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how are you remembering to just check in and ask, hey, how are you doing? Or like, I can see you're really stressed out. You know what? Take the rest of the day off. Or do you need a minute? Like, are you doing okay? How's it going with the two? Like juggling two for the first time. Like, just that alone allows them to feel like they are being seen for the stage of life that they're in that is so all consuming. But when we ignore it and we pretend like they should just jump right back in, or like leaders don't understand how to have those conversations, it makes you feel like you're failing versus someone meeting you where you're at and saying, it's okay. And I've been there too. Like, the empathy of that is so, so important.
It's like a training on emotional intelligence.
Truly.
I mean, think about it. Think about the business that could be built on building a program to give leaders emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that.
No.
There's all these courses on leaders being XYZ or whatever, but truly, if you want to be successful and you want to build a culture where people want to work, that's what you need.
Yeah, just be human with them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's unique at our company because we service new moms, we hire new moms. Like, I am a new mom, so like we're all very much in this shared experience, and it's easier, right? But I still, no matter where I work next or wherever my career takes me, I will always like put on my new mom hat for whoever is in that situation. And doing so can create such trust and help build that person, give them the confidence to come back and bring their whole self to work in a way.
Yeah. My advice to the women returning to work is don't have FOMO. Like you aren't missing out on things, because every maternity leave, I just constantly was thinking about, what am I missing? The business is moving ahead without me. I have to stay somewhat tapped in. Maybe I'm a little bit tapped in, but
Oh, yeah.
it was this FOMO of like, things are moving on without me.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point.
Yeah.
And no one else cares.
Right.
So you can return to your job. You are going to be great when you return, but let go of the FOMO.
Mm-hmm. And I would also say, on the flip side, I think when you're a first-time mom and you have this little tiny nugget baby who's like 4 months old, and you're like, oh my gosh, they need me so much. They need me so much. And then what you don't realize is what's to come. Like, that baby at 18 months, guess what? They need social emotional learning. They need to be with other kids. They need to be outside all day. Like, it's no longer like, it's actually, I'm a firm believer that daycare or group care in some capacity is great for kids
It's so
and
important.
toddlers. And
Yeah.
I think that they need that stimulation that can't just come from their mom.
And the socializing.
And the socializing. So there's also, like, you have to remember, just as much as like you are evolving as a mom, your career, your company is evolving, like, your baby's going to change so much, and what they need from you, like, maybe you don't, you are not the person that can give them 100% of that anymore.
Right.
And that you don't know that that's coming. But
Yeah.
I remember by the time my first turned 2, I was like, this is hard. Like, this is hard in a different way. Like, I'm exhausted, like, and not from being up all night. It's a different kind of exhaustion where you're chasing toddlers all around and you're making sure they don't poke their eye out or run in front of a car or like whatever the thing is. I'm like, oof, I'm ready to go to work.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
send me back to the office. So I think there's also the evolution of like what your baby needs and the stages of your baby that you don't know are coming. And you'll be so glad that you also have your own career too, if that's important to you.
Well, there's the evolutions of motherhood that no one really talks about until you live it, or you don't understand it until you live it. So we both collectively have 7 kids between us,
Oof.
which, let's just take a minute.
I know.
What?
Why is this not alcohol? I'm just kidding.
It should be. We're next episode. we're bringing alcohol in.
Obviously.
7 kids, and we're kind of in the thick of having toddlers, and I don't know what you call not a teenager, but not a toddler, a child.
I mean, she's 8. My kids are 3, 5, and 8.
Oh my gosh.
And yours are...
My stepson's 18, and then 5, 3, and 1. And it is...
You have a 1-year-old.
I have a 1-year-old.
Forget that about you.
I know, it's wild.
Yes.
Here we are.
That's incredible.
But here's the thing. I have friends who have teenagers, and I have a teenager myself.
Yeah.
But the emotional, physical, and mental kind of exhaustion that it just evolves. Like, sometimes it's physical exhaustion, sometimes it's emotional. And then my friends who have teenagers, they're like, it's a different type of exhaustion that I can't explain, but it's harder than when they were infants. And so you think about why we're here and normalizing this conversation of being a breadwinner. I mean, it carries with you. Like, this isn't about just return to work. This is about the women who have been in it and have 3 teenagers at home and are still evolving themselves, evolving their career, and evolving how to be their best selves. I mean, it's almost like every day you wake up and there's just this new challenge thrown at you and you're like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna figure this out. I haven't faced this before, but here we are."
I know. You really have to, like, navigate their problems, and I think or help them navigate it, and their problems, I think, get bigger and more significant than, like, a spat on the playground or a lost tooth that they can't find and something like that. So I feel that. I think your kids start to need you in different ways, and that really sits with me too because, someone told me or maybe I read or maybe I saw on Instagram, who knows, but it was like you have this window of time to build trust in a friendship with your child before all of a sudden they don't want to necessarily, like, foster your friendship anymore because they're
Right.
teenagers and they're too cool
Yeah.
and all of that. And it's like, but if you've done a good job building the trust and the friendship truly in those first
Mm,
10 years, let's call it, then they will, even when they don't want to continue to nurture that, they will always come back to you. They will always be your friend. But if you don't put in the time, and that doesn't necessarily mean staying at home, I'm not saying that, but, like, if you don't put in the focused, dedicated time, then it's hard to do it. It's, like, so much harder to do it later, and that really sticks with me too. And I also think about, on the note of breadwinners and this whole kind of evolving family structure and what we think, like, my mom started her own business. She was a breadwinner in our house when I was in high school, and, like, if you ask me about memories of my mom when I'm 5, I could probably tell you some based on pictures that
mhm.
I have seen and, like,
Yeah.
retell the stories in my head. But if you ask me about memories of my mom and who my mom is, I think about when I was in high school, middle school, and I, like, viscerally remember things about her and her coming home from work and, like, what she was doing and what she was building, and I also think that that's, like, also evolving in how your kids remember you.
Yeah.
Your kids are gonna remember you at 5, like, tucking them into bed and reading them stories and those things, and it's like, and then what are they gonna remember when you're in high school?
Mhm.
I don't know. I
Did you
just
have conversations with your mom about work?
Not really. It was just, and maybe that's another thing, like, should you have the conversations or are you just observing?
Absorbing and
Absorbing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Todd and I have been talking a lot about breadwinners at home, and I was standing in the kitchen, and Callan says, "Mommy, what's a breadwinner?"
Ooh,
And
what did
I
you say?
I just sat there for a minute, and I was like, "Wow." 1, you're listening to everything, 5-year-old,
I know.
and 2, I told her that it was someone who dedicated to doing something that they love, but also caring for the family and bringing home financial, support to have a roof over our head and to bring food home and to make sure that we were all healthy and happy. But we have this conversation as adults and we're like, "Oh, yeah, breadwinner." But then my 5-year-old asked, and I was like, "Holy how do I explain this to her?" And I think it is important to have those conversations, but in a way that they're ready. Like, she needs to ask that. Pippa needs to ask you questions about work. And we share a babysitter. Her name's Meredith. She's
Oh,
amazing.
yeah. Oh, man.
Meredith's the best. And Meredith said that one time she took the kids out to Whole Foods and Pippa went down the baby formula aisle
Oh,
and she was so proud. She says, "Meredith, take a picture of me in front of the Bobbie bottles."
oh,
I mean,
I love her.
there's something
Yeah.
really to be said about that.
I also think it's also I work from home. So there's not this division of mom went to work or mom's leaving house every day and coming home tired at 6 p.m. and we haven't seen her. They barge into my office at 3 p.m. when they get home from school
Right.
and they come give me a kiss and they see that I'm on a Zoom call and they say hi
Mhm.
to all my work friends, is what
Yeah.
they call them. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, who's on the work call?" I'm like, "It's the CEO, not today. Get off."
Go.
But they are seeing their mom at work
Yeah.
in a more tactical, like, present way than I think we did right, with our moms growing up. And that's like the post-COVID work from home landscape, which I also think will shape their worldview too of like where you need to be successful
Yeah.
and what work looks like. Like
Hopefully for the better than what we experienced in the first decade of our career.
one time my daughter opened up her book like a laptop and she goes, I came into the bedroom to put her in bed and I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm on a work call." And I was like, she's like mimicking what she sees.
All right.
And I'm like, "Oh, well, can I say hi to your work friends?" And she was like, "Yeah." But I do think just like what they see as normal is changing and in a great way, right? I don't think you have to be in an office to be productive every day and get things done.
It also opens up a whole new level of productivity, I believe.
100%.
I mean, think about all the things you can get done because you're not commuting to an
Oh,
office. And
yeah.
so going back to the whole work from home,
Yeah.
opening up new things, what are the non-negotiables for you when it comes to your work and home? And
Mm.
maybe the answer is I don't know, but what do you wish the non-negotiables would be?
I wish the non-negotiables is that no one would storm into my office at any given time, but that is not going to happen because then they throw bigger fits outside the
You're
door.
going to miss it when it's gone.
I know, right? I actually probably will. My non-negotiables, I really cannot take a call before 9 a.m.
Yeah.
in this season of life.
Hmm.
It's just too chaotic.
Right.
I've got 3 school drop-offs, lunches are getting made, who knows what else is going on in the
Hmm.
summer. There's swim team. We've done swim team and came home, changed for camp, gotten them to camp by 9 a.m. Like, we have lived a whole life before
Oh, my.
9 a.m.
Oh, my.
So when people are like, "Oh, can you jump on at 9 CS or EST?" I'm like, "Not really. Not unless you wanna hear not unless, like, it will be distracting for you, and I can't do anything about that." So I try to really hold a line on that. The end of the day gets a little bit more blurry. I don't hold a line on that. I do try to hold a line on putting boundaries around bedtime and not taking calls during bedtime unless it's really an emergency. Like, that is time that I tuck the kids in, we read stories, like, we have a whole little nighttime routine, and that's really important to them and to me. Other than that, I really have no boundaries. I'm really bad about it. I'm also I mean, I think it's because I'm a former reporter, so it was like a very 24/7 mindset, and
Yeah.
it's like I'm like,
It's ingrained in you.
it is, like, I just don't even wanna check my phone right now,
Do not check your
okay.
phone. We're
Um,
recording.
I know, but other than that, like, I give so much to my job because I love it, and I really do care deeply about this brand, about this company, about our product, about my team, and I want it to be successful, and I also try to be present as I can when I'm not wearing my work hat. I
Yeah.
actually would say, like, the time that I feel like I'm failing most is when I'm trying to do something with the kids and I'm also trying to do something for work. So whether that's, like, we're at a game or we're, like, whatever, they just wanna play and I'm, like, on my phone, and they start to get, "Mom, get off your phone," which is, like, so
I
insulting.
know.
I'm like,
And like gut wrenching.
I'm like, "I could be ordering pizza right now, okay? You don't even know what's going on my phone." I'm not, but, it's like they're like, "Get off your phone," and then on the other side, it's like, "Hey, do you have that thing? Where is that thing? Da, da, da," and it's like, the feeling like you're being push-pulled between these 2 different realms at the same time, to me, is when, like, working mom failure and guilt hits fever pitch. And so, like, I'd rather just be like, "I will get back to you in 20 minutes. Give me 20 minutes."
Yeah.
Or, "Kids, I need to go take care of this. I'm gonna step inside and, like, separate the worlds,
Yeah.
and you will feel the guilt a little bit, but not as much."
Yeah. It's true. There needs to be the separation, but at the same time we talk about this integration. So it's like, where is that balance? It's like day to day we're trying to integrate so we have one life, right? We have a marriage, we have children, we have work, we have friends, we have our health, we have all these things. So it's like, oh, how do we integrate all of these? I mean, the things that run through my head, let alone just on self-care,
Yep.
where I'm like, did I do my red light? Did I get my 10,000 steps in? Did I wash my hair today? Like, it just is endless. And so in some ways, ironically, when we talk about this idea of integration for breadwinners and this idea that you have to figure out what it looks like for you, you're right. Like, there needs to be separation.
There does. And like I said, like there's this whole plate and like, what is it that you put on your plate? Like on any given day, something's going to have to give. You're not hitting your skincare routine, being a great mom, crushing it at your job, putting dinner on the table, like, and having sex with your husband in 24 hours every day. Like,
Not happening.
you're not doing that.
Nobody
That's not a
is.
thing.
Nobody
Like,
is.
let's stop. That's not happening. So, what is the thing that's gonna have its moment today and maybe not tomorrow, whatever it is. But wellness is just the wellness thing is too much right now.
It's
the
a
pressure is
lot.
too high.
It really is.
Okay, we didn't have a skincare routine until like that wasn't a thing until like 5 years ago.
I mean, speak for yourself. I've had a skincare routine since I was a teenager, and all
What?
my friends make fun of me for it. All of my friends are like, Alexis, your skincare routine from 1998. And I'm like, you know what? I was using eye cream when
I
I
don't
was
think
18.
I drank water for like a decade, and now all of a sudden we have to hit ounces. I'm like, what is
I
happening?
will never forget.
People are
You bought a bottle that sat on your weekly desk that literally like dinged when you needed to drink. And I was like, Kim, what did you buy? And you're like, I'm not drinking enough water.
I know. That was peak tech era. I was like, I need this app that connects to my water bottle that reminds me to drink water, like a basic. Like, what am I doing?
Uh,
I don't know. I think I threw it away. It was like
ugh,
hydrate or something.
something,
Anyways,
I
it
don't
was
know.
good.
You used it for like a half
Yeah.
minute.
But like, yeah, there's all of that pressure too, which I think is uniquely also on women. It's like, oh, did you count your steps and your protein macros and
Will you look like you're 25 forever? And God forbid you have a wrinkle?
No,
I mean, it's exhausting.
it is.
I truly hope it changes for our daughters. I mean, I know this is just like decades of society saying like women have to be perfect and beautiful and all these things, but man, it's just too much to keep up with.
It is. I also like to feel good. Like
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
to feel like a well-kept person. And I always say
Right.
to my team, I'm like, you guys know that things are bad if I've got a bad set of nails. I'm like, that means I'm unwell. It's a signal of my mental health and my wellness. If I haven't had the time, energy to get my nails done, they're all falling off and like broken or like chipped. I'm like, I'm not in a good state right now.
That's your non-negotiable.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
That's
That's
my
a non-negotiable,
non-negotiable.
yeah.
My non-negotiable is every 2 weeks I have to go get my nails done.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
that's okay. Like, I think that's a great,
And I don't do it for
thing.
anyone else except for me. Like, I want to look at my nails and say, these look really good.
Yeah, I agree.
You and I have had this conversation around, obviously the dinner started with this idea of breadwinners and working moms. And then it's actually evolved into this like third era of the working family, which is, and just to do a little setup here, the third era, the first era was the 50s and 60s where the dad went to work and the mom stayed home. And then it was the 80s and 90s for era two, which was you two women can go back to work, but good luck. You have to work like a man and you'll get paid a lot less. And this third era is less about the working dad or the working mom or the working husband and the working wife, but really about this idea of the working family. And I think it is truly the foundation of how a breadwinner can be successful because you are only as successful as the people you have around you. Your spouse, your friends, the support system you have around you to be a mom of three. What does it look like today for you to have that physical tribe? And how has it evolved over the last few years? Like, what are the things you just didn't expect by, in your partnership with your husband?
So I think that in this third era, we also have to recognize that it is more expensive than ever to raise a family in the US. And that's for every level of, society. Childcare, food, housing, like it's just crazy how much it costs. And I think that because of that, it's not about one person staying at home and one person going to work. It's like dual income is the only option for so many families. But with that, I firmly believe that one of those dual income people needs to have some level of flexibility in their job. If you're both at an office commuting and like there from 9 to 5, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's really hard. And you really need to build out your support system.
Mm-hmm.
Even just having one person who can ebb and flow between like, I have to go do an early pickup today. This kid is sick. Like, what are we going to do with this kid? Like to help catch, or you're able to divide and conquer with those things can make or break how, like, are you able to actually juggle this? Like, can you actually do it? So for me, we have a full-time live-in nanny, which is I'd never had in San Francisco. That was new to life here in Austin, and I felt like we could actually afford that. She's lovely and she helps me so, so much. And because my kids are in school, she has a bit of a split shift, so she helps us in the mornings and then she does pickups in the afternoon. She helps me with groceries and laundry and she takes a little bit of that mental load off of the plate. Um, so that she's critical for this age with like very young kids and they have all this after school stuff and blah blah blah. And I have like 3 different drop-offs in the morning, so it's too crazy. My husband is amazing. He's like a super dad and super involved with our kids and goes to garden days, does the Christmas party. Like
Yeah.
he helps when I can't be there if I have to travel for work. Like he will step in and make sure that they're getting all of their cuddles and all their things that they need. My parents are local, so my parents will help out from time to time. Like if you want to go out for a weekend or if you want to travel to go to a wedding, you don't want to bring your kids, like who's watching 3 children overnight that you also as a mom trust? So it's like you got to find your overnight care people if it's not family, like who's your go-to person? And then I have like a bench of babysitters like just in case. So like if our nanny can't stay late one night or if we have a weekend thing, like we give our nanny off on the weekends and it's like, okay, who's coming to so that we can go to this event or we can, whatever, go to a concert or something. And so it's like you have to have your go-to people. And that is very new for me. And it has also expanded with the number of kids that we have because it just gets a little bit more complicated.
Well, also how demanding your job is in the best way possible, but
Yeah, it
you
is.
love your job.
I do.
But it's become more and more demanding.
Yes. And I work from home, but we travel. I travel quite a bit for work. So it's the work travel that when it takes me out and I'm like, maybe this is a boundary I need to make or not make, but like I'll either take like the earliest flight out in the morning so that I can be there, so that I was there for bedtime the night before.
Right.
Or I'll take the latest flight out so that I can be there take them to school the next morning. It's like every one of those little windows matters so much.
They do. Yeah.
And maybe that's my guilt manifesting and in how I try to close that travel gap as much as possible. But on the flip side, I'm there every day. I don't have to commute. Like they see me literally all day. And so there's just give and takes and it's never going to be totally perfect. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Sometimes it's nice to go on the work trip. Sometimes it's nice to get a break from the routine.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm glad to go to New York City or LA. Like
we're fortunate to be able to do it.
and I miss them? Of course. But like, and I'm happy to come back. But like a 48-hour reprieve once a month, it's not a bad thing.
I feel the same way. My husband is so incredibly involved. He runs our household. He does things that he is the tidier one of the two of us, and he cleans up the house when I make the mess. But how it's one of the things that we always say, like, love a good pandemic. Like we loved everything, almost everything that came out of the pandemic from raising a family.
Yeah.
Like our kids saw us working from home since Callan was born, since our very first was born. And we feel so fortunate for that. But I feel like there is this evolution of like the future of fatherhood. Like, what does that look like? And it's so exciting to talk about. But at the same time, I think for dads who their definition looks different, I think we have to normalize that conversation in society
Yeah.
because it's
But
not
isn't
there
that
yet.
like millennial dads spend 30% more time with their kids than their own dads did with them? And I see it all the time with the parents, just even in our own community. And I feel like this is actually what's happening despite these like toxic tropes online of like, oh, dad went out to play golf for 10 hours again. Like dad doesn't know how to make a bottle. I don't see that happening. That's not the reality. And I think it's a beautiful, magical thing because it's not even about supporting your wife. It's just about being present in your own family. And
It's the
like,
working family.
it
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
And I do think like this idea too of like, oh, who's got the kids? Oh, dad. Oh, isn't he so great? It's like, no, he's a freaking dad. Like, that's what dads do. Dads are 50% of the parental unit that are
Exactly.
responsible for raising the kids.
Yes.
And dad should know how to make a bottle and how to make a lunch and da da da. Now, I do think there's still like clear division of labor within the house where like you should figure out like, okay, who is responsible for pediatrician appointments and who is responsible for XYZ or blah. And you can divide that up. shout out to Eve Rodsky and her book.
I know.
But like, that doesn't mean that they're incapable of doing it.
Yes.
I don't think that men and dads are incapable in the way that we have kind of been brought up to believe that to be.
We created the stigma in a way, and I think this is genuinely rooted in how women operate, our minds, how they operate versus how men's minds operate. Like, we talk a lot about the mental load, but it's not the men's fault that their brains just don't think that way. You know, we're constantly having 20 things going on in our heads and multitasking, but that's just human nature in some ways.
I
Sure, I don't think every
It's a hot
couple is it is a hot take. But I don't think every couple my husband and I have had this conversation a lot because,
Yeah.
there's been conversations on social media, and there was one time I posted something, like Serena Williams posted about returning to work or something, and I, like, really felt it, but Todd actually felt, like, a little offended by the fact that I posted it. He's like, "Do you feel like I don't contribute enough?" And I had to explain the
Oof.
mental load to him,
Yeah.
where I'm like, "Hun, your brain just works differently than mine. Like, when your head hits the pillow at night, your head hits the pillow. When my head hits the pillow, there's 50 things that just start running of all the things that I didn't do, or Callan needs new shoes, or soccer practices next week. Oh, I didn't get that birthday present." And again, it's not their fault, but there's just a difference in how our brains work. But I do think that there is this equal sharing of responsibility. I think that would be my advice to couples who have yet to become parents is, like, find the ways to share the responsibility, because I think that will bring a lot of happiness to your marriage in ways that you wouldn't recognize. Like, if you actually had to step back and think about all the things that your husband does, I try and do it often of like, wow, there are things that he is just carrying for this family that I take for granted.
Mhm.
I guess that's my advice to the future families.
Yeah, and I think give each other breaks. Like, I remember when we had our daughter in San Francisco, it's like every Saturday morning, it felt like we had to go do something as a family and, like, get out of the house together, and I'm like, "I'm so tired." And it was very quickly like, you go do that? And then I'll take this afternoon. We could do something all day tomorrow as a family, but, like, it's okay to ask for breaks and to support each other, and it's like, you do this and, like, divide up the shifts so that there is still space for you to catch your breath. But, yeah, I think that the dads that I see and even my friends' husbands are just doing an incredible job.
Yeah.
And I think about how great that is for our boys because we have, what, 4 or 5 boys between us?
5 boys between us.
Like, they're gonna see how present and how loving and that their dad kisses them every night and says, "I love you so much. You're amazing. You're smart. You're kind. You're wonderful." And, like, they see their dads also working and supporting and being there for their mom, and it's gonna be really interesting to see what the generational effect of these present millennial dads are to the next generation,
I'm
which I'm
excited to see
excited
it.
to see, and I hope that we
Yeah.
just are raising a bunch of little sweeties.
Yes.
Hardworking sweeties.
Hardworking. Hardworking.
Yeah.
So we have a segment of the pod called the Breadwinner Artifacts.
Oh, yes.
They are
Okay.
the physical manifestations of Kim Chappell.
Oh, boy. Okay.
They're the 3 to 4 artifacts that really are the moments for you.
Okay.
I'd love to hear the story.
Digging through baskets today. Okay, so I brought this one first. Let me see. What is this? Okay. This is my high school cheerleading pin that, like, all the parents and stuff had to wear these for their senior night for the game. And, like, I just feel like these were such formative years for me where some people hated high school and well, I loved it. I had a great time. I had a great time in high school. And I appreciate the friends that I made, and it shaped so much of, you know, what I saw other moms doing and contributing to in their families. And I don't know. I just feel like I had a really formative high school 4 years and had a really great experience. I learned a lot, and I feel like it taught me hard work and responsibility, and I held down a job the whole time. I worked in a restaurant, and then I worked in retail, and it was, like, really the first time where it was, like, you can earn money, you can be responsible for something, and you can do a good job at many things.
Right.
And I was grateful for that experience. And I think it taught me kind of that first chapter of life of like, okay, this is how you balance shit.
Yeah. My husband and I both believe that every child should work in restaurants and retail.
100%.
Everyone should have that job.
And
That
if
was one
you're
of
rude to a server, you're dead to
your
me.
yeah, totally.
You are dead
It's
to
so
me.
it's the importance
I'm like,
of
if you haven't cleared people's plates all day long, you don't even know.
exactly. That's exactly right. I mean, it teaches grit and really working
And
hard and the
hospitality.
hustle
Yeah.
and hospitality.
Yeah, because you gotta earn those tips, baby. Yeah, I worked at a lovely little chain restaurant called O'Charlie's. You might know about it.
Oh.
Lived on the chicken fingers and honey mustard. Um, so that was great. Okay, so then I brought
Okay.
this. This was Kim trying to be the perfect mom. Okay.
Ah.
So this baby was literally 10 days old. And I had pre-booked these newborn photos because I had a C-section, so I knew when I was going to have my baby. 4 months before I had him. And I was like, I'm going to get newborn photos. It's going to be wonderful. And they're going to be great. I am
The morning of.
dead in the face, dead in the eyes. I'm a shell of a woman. Okay. And I'm sitting on my bed smiling through God knows what kind of night I just had. But I remember thinking to myself, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this to myself right now? Like, what am I going to do with this photo? I look heinous. I'm like, what am I doing?
You literally
Putting on
just had a
eyeliner,
child. I
like
know.
literally just had a C-section. And I think that was when I was like, okay, Kim, like you can just chill the out. Like you don't need to do
Yes.
all the things
You don't
all
have
the
to check all
time
the
and like
boxes.
put this like perfect perception out there. Like this is not this was not real. I was probably having postpartum depression in this photo.
I bet if you surveyed most women who did newborn family photos, they would all say the same thing.
Just remember feeling chaotic. And I don't know why I did that to myself.
You moved to Austin shortly after having Monty. I remember you calling me and saying, we're trying to check the boxes of all the San Francisco things. And you came over to the East Bay for something.
Yeah.
And you were like, let me know if you have time to meet up. And I was like, what is she talking about? You
Oh,
have
I think
three.
I went to the zoo.
You went to the zoo. And I'm sitting there and I'm currently pregnant. And I was like, what is she talking about? And then you send me a photo of your entire family in your car driving over the Bay Bridge. And you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. This isn't going to work out. I can't meet up with you. And I'm like, yeah,
I
go home.
I don't know what I was thinking. I'm like, no one needs to go to the zoo with a newborn baby and 2 toddlers. Like, do not recommend.
It really is. It's
Over the Bay Bridge, by the way.
you can't be all things to all people.
You cannot.
Including
So
your children at certain times.
I know. It's like I just needed to give myself grace and let myself just be a failure for a little bit. And that was, I'm a Capricorn, so it didn't work out that way. Okay,
All right.
so this is an artifact. This is my
Oh.
first Webby award from
I love this one.
2022. This is a year after we launched Bobbie, and I always had, and probably still do to some extent, some imposter syndrome about running brand marketing for a company when I had never really done that before. And like truly in that same vein and role. And this I felt like was it's such a dumb, like it's like a silly statue, but it was so,
It's not dumb.
it was like, what were they calling it? Like the Emmys of the internet or something?
Yeah.
And I just remember feeling like so validated for a moment that I'm like, okay, maybe I do know what I'm doing. Maybe I can do this. Like it was like such a confidence builder that other people that were experts in this work saw our work as valuable and culture changing, which is what we're trying to do. So that was a fun one for me.
You were employee number 5 at Bobbie. Is that right?
Yeah.
I remember you calling me. So we worked together at Weebly and it got acquired by Square and we spent some time together at Square. And I remember you calling me and saying, I have this job offer to go run marketing for this infant formula company. And there's 4 people working there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should I go do it? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
You need to go do this. And I could tell you were.
Well, it's nerve-wracking, right? Because again, like you're breadwinning and you're like, this is a risk. What are my benefits? Am I going to be able to pay my rent in San Francisco? Like, and those are real questions that you have to ask. And I was in a very fortunate situation where like we could take that risk,
Right.
but I know that not everybody can.
Cut to 6 years later.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who admire and respect you and your work. And I don't think you give yourself enough of that credit. But what would you say to those people who look up to you and what you've built?
Mm. I would just say you do not have to be an expert in all things to be great at something. And if you work really, really hard and you hire the right people to fill in your own gaps around you, then you will get faster than holding on to your ego
Yeah.
and holding on to the things where you feel like, well, I'm supposed to be good at that because I'm supposed to be this. It's like if you just say, I'm actually really bad at this and I need to find somebody that's going to be great at it. And just having that humility through all stages of that growth in the business, then you will also grow as a leader. And I just think there's this false narrative that the people that are at the top know everything. And you don't have to be the expert in everything, especially in something like marketing where there's like a million different
Yeah.
experts.
Experts. But you
It's
can't,
like,
but it goes back to you can't be all
yeah,
things to all people.
yeah.
Again,
You can't be
like,
all things, all people. And like, actually, I would love to hire this person who's the greatest person ever at SEO and learn from them. And like, I just hired a marketing director who has significantly more on paper marketing experience than I do. I'm like, great, I can't wait to learn from her. Like, that's okay. Like, we have to stop like being so egocentric that it's like you feel like you have to be the number one and the best at everything and you don't. And like you should be learning from your team as much as you're teaching your team.
it's interesting because we talk about the tribe when you're raising a
Yeah,
family, but it's the tribe when you're building your career.
100%.
And in some ways, that's even more important is you can't go it alone. And there is this mentality in some industries, mostly in tech and startup
Yeah.
worlds, where it's like these expectations of you have to know it all. You have to have this experience that runs across, being an expert in everything.
I also think women in general are very humble sometimes, or they hold themselves to that perfection
Right.
than some of the men who are so overly confident and like they can just like bullshit. And this is a broad stroke, but like they are able to like bullshit their experience
Yeah.
so much more confidently than women who are
Yeah.
just like so honest that
Too
sometimes
honest.
too honest.
Yeah.
It's like threading that needle is also interesting.
Yeah.
But
We could probably learn a little bit from
I know,
how take a take a couple
I
chapters
know,
from how they manage things.
I know. And always ask for more money. 'Cause I've just realized, like, every man is always like, "Well, I'm gonna have to take this back, and I'm gonna have to negotiate this," and, like, so many times I've been like, "Yeah, I'll take it," and it's like, "Oh, fuck, I should have negotiated that."
I don't know how I've turned into this person with my friends, but for the last 15 years, my friends call me when they have a job offer where they're like, "Alexis, can I talk about this with you?" And I'm like, "Sure." I guess it's like the aura that I give off of like, you should always negotiate. You should
Yeah,
always
always.
ask for
And they've
more.
and now I know too, like, they've buffered in they've buffered in salary for you to
Right.
negotiate, like,
Yes.
that
Negotiate.
exists, like, go ask for the money and just come up with the reason why you think you deserve that. I even had a babysitter here in Austin, and she came over and she was like, "Okay, how about $15 an hour?" And I was like, "Maeve," I was like, "No." I was like, "You just watched 3 children for, like, what tell ask for more." I was like, "And go into it, always ask for more, and then I'll go down if it needs to go down." She was like, 20? I was like, 25, babe. Ask for $25 an hour." You know what I mean? And so it's just like teaching other women and girls, or I mean, whatever, to have the courage to negotiate. I think that is a skill set that you do not teach. No one's learning that.
No.
Like, I mean, unless I guess you go to business school or something, but in general, yeah.
The plan for future episodes is to bring on experts that can make us better moms, better women, better wives. And to bring on a master negotiator is going to be one of the best episodes. I mean, think about all the little tips and tricks we will take away from that.
I forgot my last artifact.
Oh.
This necklace that my 3-year-old made me yesterday.
Oh,
And I just love
Monty.
wearing all of their sweet things that they make, and I have
I
all their
know.
art, like, all over the house, and, like, I tape it all on my bedroom wall, and, like,
Yeah.
I just and, I'm, like, not a clutter person, and now I, like, have kid shit everywhere, and I'm like I just don't have the heart to ever throw it away.
Ever.
And I even got it made into art books with that company Archive, But then I still just hold on to the art, and I'm like, "What are we doing with this?"
It's
Like,
not the
I don't
same.
know. No, it's not the same.
I know. So we talked a bit about the physical tribe. Like, who do you surround yourself with? What is your dynamic like with your husband? But I actually think there's this interesting parallel with your digital tribe.
Mm.
And in today's world, being a parent, being a working mom, doing all of these things, there's so much of the digital tribe that carries us even more.
Mm.
And what are some of the hacks that you are these are your must-haves that you rely on every day? They're on the front screen of your phone and you're opening these things daily.
If I'm not on my phone for work, I'm in my group text with my, like, core OG friends from Georgia.
But there's your digital tribe.
That would be my digital tribe, which allows me a space to not have to bring whatever happened at work to the table, and it's almost like a disconnect,
Yeah.
and it's like nobody in this season of life has time for long, laborious phone calls to catch up, so it's like staying in the loop with each other's lives with what's going on
Yeah.
in a group text, and sometimes when I've been silent on the group text for, like, a period of time or a couple days, like, I'll have one of them check me, they're like, "Are you okay?" Like, "I feel like we haven't heard from you in a while, like, what's going on?" And I'm like, "I'm actually drowning right now." But it's like the friends who, like, know you so deeply and
Mhm.
are there for you and know when to check in
Yeah.
is really powerful.
It is.
Digital tribe. And I also don't really I've tried to join these other groups, like digital mom groups or like these like kind of career focused but like not job related. And I don't have the capacity to give to anybody else right now or to like make new friends or network. Like I just can't right now.
There is benefits, and there's like the give and take in those communities. There are definitely benefits, but you're totally right that your close group of friends over text. I mean, I don't know whether it's the pandemic that did it, but I have my girlfriends from college. There's like 7 of us, and we talk every day.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like, I don't know what I would do if that just went away.
Yeah.
The phone conversations, there's not enough time.
No.
And
And I'm on Zoom all day long. I'm talking all day long. Like I don't want to talk either. I just want to send you like an LOL face and then
and
we're
then that's
done.
it.
You know, we've communicated. Like we're good.
Uh,
I call my mom a lot if I need a
mm,
combo and she pops over. So like there's like
aw,
family involved and I really appreciate that.
yeah.
But yeah, I just think that it's also okay to say no to more digital community. Sometimes less is more.
Right.
And sometimes when you feel like, oh no, I've joined this group and I have 15 unread notifications. Like to me, that's just added to my mental load for the day. Where someone thinks that I'm failing because I haven't gotten back to them about XYZ and I have 15 more unread notifications. This time it's in WhatsApp. I don't like that. Like that does not bring me joy.
And it's not the thing that you wanna do before your head hits the pillow at night.
No.
Like, I have to catch up with all these things.
No, it's like a to-do list. I don't want more on my to-do list. I
Yeah.
want less on my to-do list.
There's enough
So,
on your to-do
yeah,
list.
I think there's also power, I guess, in the point of it being like, don't expand your digital tribe for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it actually adds to the mental load.
It does. One of the digital tribe things you actually just posted about today, you used a
Yes.
service.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I should definitely give them a shout out. Okay, there's a service called findfay.com, and they're great. They find you like a part-time, like you can do different tiers. So like 3 to 5 hours a month, 1 to 2 hours a month, 5 to 10 personal assistant services that are for working parents in
Mhm.
general. I mean, I think really a lot for moms who take on a lot of the
Mhm.
household things, but still for any working parent. And it's like you can just assign them things to work on, like
Hmm.
a dinner party or my daughter's birthday party that they just planned for me. And it allows me to take a step back from all of the logistical stuff, the nitty gritty, and I can do the fun things with her. And she's helped me throw a movie night in my backyard and get everything ordered, like matching pajamas for all the 5-year-old boys. And she helped me with stocking stuffers and some Christmas lists of like what should the kids be getting this year. Like there's I think when you start to think about how much we delegate at work, and I'm like, "Oh, plate's full. Hey, you gotta take that project. You gotta be the DRI on that." It's like, how do you bring that same energy and mentality to some of the things at home that are piling up on your plate? Or it's like those peak moments where you're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, this is a big busy month. Like, how am I gonna get this all done?" It's okay to not do everything
Yeah.
that typically, like, moms do.
And to delegate.
Yeah,
Like,
and
you
to
can delegate
delegate.
at work, so
And by the way,
delegate
it's
at home.
not expensive, like, it's very, very, very affordable,
Yeah.
and, I just kind of appreciate having the extra help.
That's really
And it
nice.
allows me to, like, have a more robust social life in a way where I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna host this dinner, or I'm gonna host this, like, pop-up shop for this boutique," and I'm like, "I don't have time to plan this." I'm like, "Hey, can you help me plan this? Can you get the caterer? Can you get a charcuterie? Can you, like, whatever the list of things, can you go buy the wine from HEB?" Like, it's so great.
I think one of the core attributes of being a great manager is the ability to delegate. So you should also be able to delegate in your house and not feel guilty about that.
Yes, go check out Find Faye. It was founded by a mom who worked at Apple, and she was like, "I can't keep up," and so she's created this, whole network of people that step in and do that, and she's great, and you, like, text message, you don't have to get in an app or anything, it's really easy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just to spend a minute on this idea of legacy building, like, what's the legacy you want to leave for your daughter? Like,
Mm,
what when she sees you on your Zoom calls, and
mm.
what do you want her to grow up and say, "My mom did X"?
I want her to say, "My mom worked hard for us, but she also loved what she did,
Mhm.
that she found joy in going to work, and that work doesn't have to be this painful schlep to something that you hate doing, and, that you can find the way that your unique POV and your creative energy and your flow
Yeah.
can benefit the greater good. And it's about finding that opportunity and continuing to, like, grow your career until you get to that place. But I hope that she's like, "Yeah, my mom worked," and she's not like, "Ugh, she was just so miserable," you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
I want her to be like, "Yeah, my mom crushed." And I loved seeing how happy she was and that she, led a team and she
Yeah.
was so happy at her job.
Yeah.
And
That's really
yeah,
nice. I love
that's what
that.
I hope.
I love that. Well, this is the pilot of hopefully many, many, many episodes to come for the Breadwinners. What do you hope that our conversations bring up, and what are the important topics that need to be had?
That's a great question. I hope that women watching this can understand just how vast this network is of breadwinners and that they are not alone, and that you can and should proudly be the breadwinner and you do not need to protect your husband's ego. And that there is agency in owning that title.
Yeah.
I think that there's also power in saying what you need help with and bringing transparency to the village in real life, the digital tribe. Like, no one's out there doing it all and doing it alone.
Right.
That's bullshit. So let's stop that narrative.
Yeah.
And I think for the people who are not yet mothers, but aspiring to be or trying to be, understanding what it's like once you're on the other side of it and you are juggling 3 kids and the job and the career, and, like, bringing just transparency to how it actually works and how these women are kind of making the soup in their own house. Um, that is a conversation that does not
It
exist.
doesn't.
Does not exist until this podcast.
And truly.
Yes. And we are also evolving. This is the other very important thing to me. We have got to, like, it's been death to the girl boss that has been murdered on social media. What is the evolution of that? To me, it is this type of woman. It is this group of women. It is the breadwinner. It is the evolved family unit. It is a, like, just multifaceted approach to earning and raising families and a family unit. And I think that is a narrative that needs to be told.
The multifaceted life
Yes.
is so exciting and doesn't have to be daunting, and we have to normalize all the components of what that looks like. And hopefully bring in the best experts to help you be your best self, but also to be able to learn from other people who seem like they may have it all together, but nobody has it all put
No,
together.
no one knows everything and no one has it all together.
Yeah.
We're all unraveling.
Well, the future episodes are physicians, pediatric nutritionists, tech executives, women who are building empires in retail. And then the experts who are going to help us bring it along.
Yes. And we don't care about your business. That's not what this is about. We care about how you operate as a mother within the space of building your family and your business.
We barely talked about Bobbie. I didn't even talk about my career yet. I mean, this is really about you as the individual. So if any of you have recommendations for women that we should be bringing on the pod, please let us know, because it will be content that continues to build.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to wrap with your favorite thing.
Rapid
Rapid fire
about
questions.
what?
Rapid
Oh,
fire
God.
questions.
I'm so bad at rapid fire.
Everybody,
I
Kim hates rapid fire questions, but
just feel like such a dodo, or like I don't have a point of view on things. I'm like, I don't know.
all right, what's your superpower in one word?
Multitasking.
Okay, your most used emoji on your
Oh,
phone.
definitely. There's the one that's like the cringy face. That's like,
yeah. Mine's the melting one. Mine's
oh, the melty
melty
face, the cringy face. Yeah.
When Apple was updating their emojis, the moms were like, well, there needs to be a melting face one.
Yeah.
And there needs to be one where it's like, I'm sort of holding it all together, but I'm not really holding it all together.
Yeah. Those are it.
What's the last text you sent your husband?
Oh, this will be a good one. Did the kids take their worm meds? We're doing a parasite cleanse. Parasite cleanse in the house. Too many critters.
Your last text to me was, he said, can you bring a hairbrush? And I said, sure. But are you sure you don't have lice?
Not sure.
I mean,
listen, okay?
There is only so much that you can do.
We have 3 kids. Okay, there's going to be lice.
Oh. What's the oddest place you've ever
judge me?
What's the oddest place you've ever taken a work call?
Oh. I was wearing my daughter's pink headset with like the Britney Spears mic in a bikini at the pool in Sea Island with like an agency, and I'm like trying to be camera off and be coy about it, but I wasn't supposed to have a call that day. I ended up having a call, and like the server walks over right in the middle. He's like, "Ma'am, here's your rum punch," or like whatever it is. I was like, "I'm fine.
I'm mute.
No, my friends can attest to this. I've taken a work call on a dock in Cannes. I've taken a work call like at you name it. I've taken a work call there. Like it's like a joke between my Atlanta friends. They're like, "Oh God, she's on a call."
I have a picture from you and I on one of our first work trips together. You're sitting in the Newark airport on a work call, and you have pumps attached to you, and you were just in the middle of the airport. You were not in a bathroom.
Sorry, is this bothering you? Get the fuck out. I don't give a shit. Like, I have a right to pump here.
It's one of my favorite photos.
Yes, work calls everywhere. I took a work call yesterday at a kids basketball game, and it was like screeching sneakers and whistles, and I'm like, yes, I've got the information. Thank you. Like, this is what you get if you book an after hours call. Then you're going to get me after hours, wherever I need to be after hours, okay? My life cannot stop for your after hours work calls.
What's one thing in your bag that would surprise people? Worm medication?
One thing in my bag that would surprise people. I have a pair of high heels. I have
at all times.
Like, I usually bring an extra set of shoes just in case I end up, like, if I'm out of the house for the day.
Yeah. Smart.
I have my full makeup set.
Mm-hmm. Always.
Yeah. And like always a snack. Like I always have a snack or like a toy car in every purse because my toddler.
Kid snack. I thought you meant snack for yourself.
Well, it's a kid snack, but like sometimes I like the Chomps bars too. I like the Annie's gummies. Like, I'll eat it too. But like I always have snacks and cars, I think.
Mine is a Ziploc bag of Band-Aid stickers and crayons.
Oh, smart.
In one Ziploc bag.
That's great.
Kids.
Okay.
Finish the sentence. Nobody told me being a breadwinner mother would mean.
I can be incredibly proud of myself, and I can step into that and not feel guilty about it.
I'm proud of us.
Me too. Like we're doing it. Jeez. I know.
Thanks for being here for the pilot.
That's my end of my rapid fire?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was ready. I was just getting warmed up.
I have a whole lot more, but
okay, no, I appreciate it. I hope that these conversations are helpful to all the working moms out there and the moms to be, and that we can bring some transparency to what it actually takes to do this
Me too.
in this season that
This
we're
is
in.
going to be fun.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
me too.
The Breadwinners Pod.
Let's do it.
Let's
Making
do it.
the dough.
The dough.
Tagline. Ship it. No, I'm just kidding.
Pew, pew.